I didn't know anything about Trump's policies. I just voted for him. Nah, MAGA, you can't get away with that with me, right? Because you were too loud before the election about how it was going to make the country better. So when you hear MAGA say things like that, you know what that is? That's somebody that's a coward. They're afraid to stand up and align themselves visually, right? For everybody to know with all the crappy shit you see happening right now, they know it doesn't look good, but they don't have the backbone to still align themselves with it. So now it becomes, I didn't know no better. You knew enough to be loud about it before the election. So I know enough about it to keep calling you out on it now. Stop making these people feel comfortable. The problem is people like MAGA folk who go all in on stuff like that. And then when it gets really, really bad, they want to act like, well, I didn't know any better. You're not a child. You're a grown-ass adult. You're not a child. So I'm not going to treat you like one. And what do conservatives always talk about? Personal responsibility. And that's what I expect you to have too. But I'm not going to let any MAGA get away with, I didn't know. Well, you should have known, or you should have stayed your ass at home.
And I need you guys to know something, that no matter what MAGA says, they're not okay. They're gonna say they're okay. They want you to think they're okay because eating crow is just not something they're good at. So share this. Farmers are desperately suing Trump to get the Biden grants reinstated before their farms go under. They're not okay. In Texas, Florida, and Louisiana, they lead the list of states with the most people in financial crisis. Those are 3 states who consistently vote to keep putting the boots back on their necks, because racism and Christianity go hand in hand to their own peril. Again, in Glenn County, California, their only hospital in miles is closing. They're fucked. 2/3 of that county voted for Trump. Missouri's biggest nail company just got slapped with 25% tariffs on steel from Mexico. Do you think that company's bound for the wood chipper? Because I do. And this guy who voted for Trump 3 times watched his very own wife, who's been here for 50 years, get arrested because she wrote a bad check 25 years ago. And he cried all over the news. Meanwhile, white people are coming out of the woodwork to go, this is heinous. But they didn't say shit about the brown people. She's the same. She did the same thing everyone else did. Committed a crime. Ironwood, Michigan, this is that one in the UP. Their only birthing unit within 45 minutes of anybody is closing down. If they want to have a baby, they got to go to Wisconsin to do it. Way to go, MAGA. And all over Reddit, I'm seeing stories just like this. Businesses closing down, hundreds of employees being laid off all over the place. People are struggling, and there's going to be more. These tariffs are only going to shut the doors. Doors are closing. Jobs are getting lost. So no matter how much they want to lie to you, please know they're not doing great either. And they're going to lose the midterm so long as we can keep them protected.
Feel like they literally can't be around MAGA people right now. I'm not kidding. Like, I can't breathe your air. There's nothing working up here. Every year you take your boat out for the 4th of July and you wave a flag and you say, I'm so proud to be an American, while simultaneously saying, make America great. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Your party is the one who makes jokes about alligators eating 65 million people. Voting to harm other people while calling yourself Christian is a mental illness. You should be in a hospital. You also shouldn't be voting until you've mastered the yours. There's only 2 of them. I know you think you believe in Jesus and heaven and hell, but clearly you don't. Because when you get to the pearly gates and Jesus says, did you say anything about Laura Loomer and her comment about the alligators in Alcatraz? And you say no, he's going to say, I'm going to need you down there with P. Diddy, okay? And let me tell you, it's going to
be hot on. Hey beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. So all credit goes to the creators in these videos. MAGAs are always sharing stories online about how their finances are ruined, about how they have poor healthcare access, about how the broken dreams contradicts with the expectations they had when they were voting for some of them, right? For most of them, in fact, their lives have changed in ways that they did not expect, guys. Some of them have gone bankrupt. Many of them have lost their savings in the stock market. Many are facing high inflation. They are dealing with stricter policies that they did not anticipate, policies that they did not even see coming, guys. And the irony is that public perception around them is so unsympathetic because people are not even having pity for them. Many of them are criticizing them for their choices. Many of them are seeing it as if that, okay, this struggle is just a consequence of you blindly following political promises. And I don't even know which one angers them the most. The fact that people are not pitying them, or the fact that they are expecting, those that didn't vote red to come and say, oh, okay, we are forgiving you. Let's come together, let's join forces. Okay, we can do this, right? And this lack of pity is just making their situation even harder. And they have so many struggles. They are feeling frustrated. Many of them are feeling unheard. Many of them are feeling isolated, right? And they are finding out that this is the harsh reality of what they voted for, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's keep watching.
Talk about this because I can relate so much. I miss the person I was before MAGA. Now I just can't feel empathy for someone who voted to hurt others. Oh boy, yeah, me too. I am by nature a very empathetic person. I care about other people. It hurts my soul to see other people struggling. I really have sympathy for other people, especially if they don't have the privilege that I have. But there has been a seismic shift in not just me, but obviously a lot of us in the last 10 years. And honestly, it started in 2020 with C-19. Watching so many people give absolutely zero fucks about anybody else around them getting sick was really mind-boggling to me. I honestly didn't know that people could be that self-centered and that uncaring. And that's super naive of me. I understand that. And that is probably a product of just the sheltered nature I grew up around. But I expected more from people. I honestly did. And it was extremely disappointing to see that people wouldn't even do the bare minimum to protect the people around them and to make sure that all of us were okay. And since then, it's just example after example of more of the same thing, right? This MAGA group of people just do not care about anything other than themselves. They have no ability to empathize or to sympathize with anyone. They don't care about the better good of society, about building a better government structure, or making sure that everyone has a shot at least at bettering their life. They do not care. They don't even care about the humanity of anyone. I mean, look at this stuff that goes on, the ASMR videos that are posted on the White House, official social media page of clanking, irons of these immigrants that are being just shipped off to prison camps. They like it. It's not only that they don't care, they like it. And that is I don't even know what to do with that anymore. And I have evolved to a position where I can't care about you then. I have to actively stop myself from caring about you if you're MAGA, because I would tend to sympathize with your struggles, but I actively am wait a minute, who did you vote for? I hate that I have to think like that, but I do. And it's a defense mechanism. I feel like that's what it is. It's become a defense mechanism so that we don't open ourselves up to and are not vulnerable to being hurt by these people, because that's what they're doing. They're hurting us by hurting our society and hurting the most vulnerable among us. So yeah, I am definitely different than I used to be. And I miss that naive person who just thought that there was a baseline of decency in our country. But there isn't.
Folks been there. Make America Great Again was a sham. Baby, it was never great. The foundation was dirty from the jump. What they really mean is make America what it was. So those MAGA hats really should say mall, but I guess that'd be too obvious. Because baby, they're trying to take us back to a time when the wealthy few had it all and everybody else was just surviving before emancipation. And what they try to hide is that poor white folks weren't living a fairy tale either. The only people so-called balling were plantation owners and the elite. But racism, that kept poor white people in the dark and kept them from seeing the real enemy. And baby, it wasn't us. During the civil rights era, When poverty became too obvious, honey, they rolled out the program. Not for us, by the way, but for the white folks, to help them get back on their feet. That's the playbook. Keep white folks thinking they're better than black folks, so they don't notice who's picking their pockets. And again, it ain't us. And that's the real reason why they defund schools. That's why they keep watering down the curriculum and whitewashing books. Not just to keep us from the truth, but to keep them from it too. And baby Hoover said it best. Convince the poorest white person that they're better than a black person, and you can rob them blind. And baby, that's exactly what's still happening. You would think they would have figured it out by this point. But racism keeps them blind. History is on repeat, on a VHS tape. And they keep pressing rewind, wondering why the tape keeps messing up. I know Jeanette, look at that. Child, it's all too much. So them wanting us back in the field? Not technically. But what they do want is us broke down, begging for scraps. Yeah, that's the plan. And they using white folks to do their dirty work, only for them to get tossed to the side like leftovers. You think they'd get it by now. But baby, on my mama, we ain't going back. And I mean that. So black folks, let's get on code real fast. Drink your water. Stay rooted, real, and knowledgeable. And mind your...
I will admit this. I am 57 years old, and I've been on this earth for a long time. I heard something. I was today years old when I heard this, and it floored me. It stopped me in my tracks. There was a creator, and I'm going to tag him below, that made a statement that just blew my mind. He said, and I believe it's probably more, that during the American Civil War, 90% of the Confederacy, the people who died in the Confederacy, did not have enough money to own slaves. They were willing to die to keep black people down or enslaved. They neither owned slaves or owned land. This is exactly what we are experiencing today. I said yesterday that over 500,000 white people in the state of Louisiana will lose their Medicaid. And I'm willing to venture, I'm willing to bet that 90% or more of those specific white people voted for Donald Trump, voted for Steve Scalise, voted for Mike Johnson, and voted for all the other Republicans who are willing and desirous of taking the benefits, the resources that they need to survive and to live away. Makes no sense. That is MAGA.
Months ago, I was really struggling with how to deal with MAGA people. They are just so stupid and so hypocritical, and I didn't know how to approach them. A friend after that DM'd me and said something that has only become more true in the months since. He goes, you can't engage MAGA. You cannot engage them because they're not being intellectually honest. What does he mean by that? They're not being honest about the reasons they voted for Trump or the reasons they support MAGA. I don't even know if they know the real reasons. If they do, they're not being honest about it publicly, right? Because, they say, we care about protecting our families and protecting our kids, and yet Epstein files, they forgot about that real quick, right? Conveniently. They care about, states' rights and getting the federal government out of our lives, and yet when Trump wants to send in troops who are not wanted in Chicago, suddenly they're on that side. A lot of them say, I'm a fiscal conservative. That's why I vote Republican. Trump's big bullshit bill raised the deficit more than any president in history, beating his own record the last time he was president. They're not fiscal conservatives. They say they're for American businesses, and yet Trump's tariffs are killing American businesses. They are dishonest at every turn, which is why things keep happening, and they appear to be hypocrites because they're not being honest in the first place about why they voted for Trump, because they still support him, right? He breaks everything they say, and then they still support it. And I think the real reason, I think a lot of them are racist. I think a lot of them are misogynist, homophobic. There's probably just a lot of selfish people in there, too, who maybe are not those things, but are just selfish and didn't want their taxes to go up. At the end of the day, they're just not being honest with themselves in many cases. So there's no sense in debating them or challenging their beliefs because they're not being honest in the first place. You're disrupting your peace for no reason.
I feel that MAGA supported Trump with high hopes. They believe that all his promises at that time, he will bring them to pass. and they felt proud of their choice at that time. However, right, when many of these policies were unfolding, they realized that what they voted for did not serve their personal interest, and now they are facing the consequences of their action because reality of their vote has started to eat them, and they having a sense of regret, sense of isolation, because MAGA is no longer a slogan of hope. It's just reminding them constantly that this is what happens when you vote against your own self-interest. Real consequences happen. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear from you. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Please stay safe. Ciao.